today, by the way. The 2 semis and our grand final later on. Not a best of 5 like the Invitational, just best of 3s. Bands are coming in. A little bit of a reaction here for Consulate out by Rogue, Cafe, Coast, Clubhouse, Bank, and Chalet are all banned out.
Well, the fact that Skyscraper is still in that map pool is probably why the crowd got a little antsy. It's probably the least picked map in Pro League.
Across all regions. It is coming in. And it's Rogue putting it there, who have played it once this season and lost that game. Penta played it once this season. Penta won that one. So, Rogue are bringing us something special to kick off the finals day of Season 7.
We're in for one big match. If Rogue actually brings something on Sky we haven't seen before, I don't see Penta taking that.
They've got to have something. You don't put Sky in unless you know this is your pocket pick to get you to the final. Border is Penta's place. Both teams have won a game on that, but Rogues was in overtime. Penta lost one. And Oregon, should we get there, and if it's anything like yesterday, will be there all for ages. That is a map that we've seen Penta lose once on the only times they played it, they lost it. Whereas Rogue got 2 out of 2 wins on Oregon this season.
This might be a small insight, but I know Gio himself is a very good IGL on Skyscraper. I've had the opportunity of teaming with him. Skyscraper is our best map, and this could probably be wrong, but I'm sure he brought a lot to the table for Skyscraper itself.
Yeah.
And we'll see if these guys can carry it out. But it kind of looks like Rogue is favored the first map, and Penta is best on the most played and most oversaturated maps like Border Oregon.
But this feels like a map pool in Rogue's favor to me statistically.
I would agree.
And yet this is a LAN.
I would assume
so
that
things change.
Yeah.
If we gotta bet a little bit, I would assume that Rogue takes Sky because we don't see it a lot, and you don't bring it out unless you're damn good at it.
Yeah.
Such
there's a reason to put that in, and there's a reason to put that in first, as
And
opposed to maybe we can chance it if it's the decider.
If they get the first map, I might not see them win Border, but Oregon is still a map that Penta has struggled with.
Yeah.
They are really good on Oregon, but the static play and the way they've been trying to change Oregon hasn't really worked out for them.
To be successful on Skyscraper itself, you have to be an aggressive team off the bat, and Rogue is that team, and Penta is the passive team, so we'll see which one wins out.
We wanted a day of really good competition to match up with what we brought you yesterday. Looks like we're going to get that, doesn't it? It's Rogue versus Penta. We knew this would be good. We didn't expect it to start on Skyscraper. So, let's bring it to you. With no more ado, we go to Skyscraper with Rogue and Penta Sports for a place in the grand final.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Pro League. Here, we're in semifinals. Gonna get ready for an amazing match. North America defends itself from possible ruin here. At least this time it's not a repeat of last year where everybody from NA got pushed out into the bus.
We need NA to represent in NA here. I mean, yeah, we have DreamHack as a second chance, but let's not go there.
Yeah, this is the important one. Here it's all for, it's very much for all of the markets, the whole box.
If they lose now, then they'll probably just never have an NA LAN again.
And this is the thing. Matt was talking about this yesterday. Rogue's always been a team that lives in the shadows of evil geniuses. Will today be the day where they bring it back and try to beat the monster that is Penta Sports? We'll have to see. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Penta Sports versus Rogue. Skyscraper, map 1.
Let's go. Skyscraper. I knew it had to happen after being teased all season and only being played in Steam matches. Pretty much. All right, the hype for the USA. Rogue need to learn from yesterday. It's ironic to play on a Japanese map after what happened to them yesterday and the struggle they faced.
If anything, there's one team to mention so far in Pro League. It's Norarengo. I know, they still lost to Rogue, but I remind you that this is a team for the first time playing in LAN. We're almost able to beat Rogue, took them all the way to the end of map 3. This is a team to respect. This is a team to know that they can bring the best. We'll see later on, but let's kick it off on Skyscraper. What a map to start off with the semifinals, and we're gonna start with a bit of just a bit of a nice breakfast or brunch at this point.
They're just getting set up for the day. Usually, pretty much every team gonna start in karaoke above, right there in T room, but Penta have been doing that on their secondary sites lately. For example, on Border, they have this tendency to start on vent.
Yeah.
They like to put the other team off at the beginning and start with their offsite. That's something we used to see back in like year 1 and a little bit of year 2, and that kind of faded away for a while. But I feel like Penta are comfortable doing that, being such an old school team, and they are definitely going to be setting up, obviously, a lot of defenses upstairs, regardless of the bomb site.
Oh, yeah.
This is one where you really need to defend that top floor, and Castle is going to be great for slowing that down, so that is a good play. Interesting to see Kanto playing that dock again. We saw him do that yesterday as well, and I don't think there was anything he played badly yesterday, so an interesting choice here nonetheless, but they are bringing a lot of soft breach and hard breach destructibility. Brian, of course, ever the Thatcher, going to be bringing that as well to make sure that they can get through that Geisha wall if need be, thanks to Shuttle. And then Eclipse on Ying should be an interesting play in terms of being able to breach through into that Geisha room.
Bringing the Zofia and the Ashe both at the same time. Of course, that offers a ton of soft destruction with their, there's a lot of soft walls here on Skyscraper that can just open up. And as you mentioned, Geisha, that is the most important part of the defense. So you need to go there, you need to control of it. And honestly, Zofia is one of the best operators to have to push into this area because you can open up sidewalls, or you can throw in your concussion grenades, and that makes it a lot more difficult for the Mira or even the smoke that'll be playing behind the wall.
Yeah. It's nice they have the double hard destructors, of course, for things like the castle barricades right there. Makes it a little bit easier for them to open that up without wasting too much utility. And speaking of wasting, June is wasting away there. Just a little bit of health there, and his Nitro Cell unfortunately ineffective as he's finished off. Thanks to Shuttle's long angle through karaoke wall, and that is the difficulty. And that's why you see a lot of teams reinforcing that wall to try and protect against shots like that.
Well, Pengu's going to take down the drones here. Fabian will land the first kill for Penta. Shuttle will refrag, and that's Pengu now down as well. Geisha's been cleared up, as you see Penta setting up downstairs. Fabian on the smoke is not really something you would usually see. It's usually Pengu that'll be on that roll. But he
We've
also
seen swap roles with each other a lot, though.
That's one of the best parts of the team, is that they're known to switch around operators depending on the map, depending on the site, because they're comfortable with pretty much anything that they have. But now Rogue has taken control of the top side. It's not really that now difficult to shoot down, take that batteries, and easily is going to go in and start with another kill. Goga now will get shot down. That's the castle. Didn't really slow them down. Leaves Kanto and Fabian alive.
It is a 2v4, and this is Rogue's map in Rogue's favor. They still even have potentially some time to reset easily if they want to, but that's the Zofia with the 2 armor. Probably not going to go for that. Just going to start putting out that aggressive, and they're doing good on their time management as Kendall's come out for the kitchen drop and to clear out the doorways.
The flashes will get thrown in here as Kanto cannot push. Fabian takes a lot of damage as he fires above. Has to pull the shotgun, and there you go. Gets one. Kanto with the second. Turns it 2v2, but look at the amount of health here as Fabian will go down. Kanto can pick him back up. He is a duck. Still has one more stim to use. There's still like 20 seconds to play with here. Fabian sitting on the floor. Kanto has to face it, but no, Slash is ready. He'll get the last 2 in the Ashe. Rogue take round number 1.
Unfortunate for Fabian that the dock was just too far away and at such a bad angle to be able to help his teammate out, because obviously that would have helped tremendously to have Fabian back up there. But a well-played execute all around. Obviously, as I said earlier, they don't pick this map for no reason, but this is a map they've still struggled on. They picked it against EG thinking they were going to be going in with a big surprise, and then still lost it to EG. But obviously they learned a lot from that. That attack was fantastic. We saw, for example, when they played it against EG, they experimented a lot with different attack strategies. Seems like they found one that works. But Penta have been shown to adapt or change up what they do quite a bit throughout the round. So I don't know if that's going to be the repeated the next time they go to attack Kitchen, which we will potentially see again. Now we're going to see Rogue also start on Kitchen, so it seems like both teams wanting to start on that offsite, deciding that karaoke is just overplayed at this point. Let's try and bring something new. Can they execute on the site as well? They are bringing a slightly different lineup. We're actually going to see, instead of the soft destruction of Ashe, you're going to get Sledge instead, and then Go going to be bringing that second hard breach of Thermite, which he is...
it's a signature operator for Goga, that's
so good
sure.
at Thermite. So that is, I mean, that is, even if he doesn't need anything breached, he's still very, very useful as a player. So
the
no
Rogue,
loss
though, on
there.
the defense, though, they're bringing Ella, so that's Eclipse going to be playing it.
He's been doing that a lot. I'd say to mixed success, but when it works really well. And he's been using it a lot for the speed and the rotates to get around to those flanks. Again, they don't always work, but I feel like maybe he's been a little more successful on that than he has on Vigil.
That's the thing, though. When you're playing Ella, you want to force your opponents to fight you up close, because that's where you will shine. And honestly, Skyscraper is definitely one of the maps where there's only a couple of long angles, especially here, like the hallway and the bard below. Other than that, you have every single advantage as the Ela. You can even spray into the window. You got 40 rounds in your magazine. You'll get a headshot here and there. So it's definitely a great operator to bring, especially if Eclipse is on it.
Yeah, and he's playing a little bit from sight, but not too much, really. He's ready to rotate back as quickly as possible, and he already gets a kill, but traded by Junis. But that's Kanto off the board. I mean, it's the sledge, not a big deal, but 2 nades off the board, and one of the top fraggers. That's a good start for Eclipse that we were just mentioning.
Yep, now you take away the fragging operator for the fragging player. Exchange them in each team. Jonas is joining in above. Of course, this is his signature. Zofia as well. He's been very mixed on this. It's not always successful. Yeah, he'll have a great day, and sometimes he'll have an awful day. And you know, we'll see which one he's got today. But
maybe working a little bit better than his Glass play has been lately. Unfortunately.
Well, the concussions are going to get thrown in here. Jonas is going to make his way next to the Tycho here. Set up next to it. It's a close-up angle. It forces the defense right into him if they even try to contest.
It's always a hard spot to fight, too, because people can fight from below that, even throw C4 up or impact nades. And he's got to be prepared for that. He does have a drone there available to watch. I imagine Kanto could be switching around to any of their drones right now, providing some extra callouts, but it's getting a little tense as they're trying to figure out an approach. Burned a lot of time doing so.
There we go. They spot the legs of Shuttle, so they know that he's in here.
Drone up.
And Jonas will not be peeking through because he knows the instant he tries to go there, he'll die, but no, Slash will be the one to end him here. It's now Penta in the back foot 3v4. Jonas now eliminated. Fabian still trying to peek in as Pengu droning in through the hallway. You see the defense is already rotated away and he'll have to tap into the castle barricade himself. Goga still set up by our drum here and has not been able to find anybody. Rogue.
The way they're sectioning off that karaoke like there and leaving Penguin there. I mean, yeah, it gives him the opportunity to move in that room freely, but now he's got to work his way out of it, giving them the opportunity to rotate around.
Yeah, Rogue right now have been just able to segment the map. It's basically like a ship. They go in, they take first part, second part, relinquish, and then use whatever utility they need to get something out of it. And here now 4v2. Penta able to get finally a kill here. Goga will be the one to land on Slash, but now Fabian gets the second. That's now 2v2. Similar to what we had in the previous round, they'll get the spot here. Goga and Fabian will both try to peek against the smoke. He's playing behind. Goga will land the kill. 2v1 now. And it's all on easily. He still has a nitro cell, and that's the thing to keep in mind. 8 seconds on the clock. He's got to set up here, but he has to throw the C4 into a correct spot. Does he know where they're planting from? He'll drop right in. He'll try to spray against Fabian, who clutches around as it easily goes down. Now 1-1 as the attack. This is a map where any site is very much attack favored, and Penta and Rogue are both showing it early on.
Absolutely, but that was a close round. I feel like such an early advantage to Rogue. Slowly got whittled away by good teamwork. You saw the pings coming out, you saw the attempted crossfires, the work from Fabian and Goga, really just working at every individual player to pick them off, to make those trades, because they started losing people too early, starting with Kanto, and then just working from there, the trades back and forth, going mostly in Rogue's favor, but as they whittled it down and actually made it 2v1s, it seemed to really just completely turn, and unfortunately easily so far off site without the angles he needed. Just the setup did not work out for them, and it was a good read by Penta in terms of where to plant and how to read that angle. We're actually going to see Slash breaking out a blitz here. Honestly, and Eclipse on Glass.
This is one of the best sites to play it on. They know, obviously, Penta will go back to this site. So, a blitz is going to be pulled out here for the T-room. Other than that, you also have Eclipse bringing the Glass. So he still has the support of the smoke as well from Slash if need be. So very possible to see smokes being thrown into the hallway to separate the line of sight. You usually see the mirror window also set up here in Geisha where Marcy was showing you as well. And this is an odd one as well. This will watch the stairs. I wonder if they'll open the war as well. They will. Okay.
Yeah. It's definitely important to be able to watch those stairs because any run-ups from there could be those flanks that come down the hallway that you need to really worry about in terms of holding the defense because you can't really hold the door itself.
One thing to mention is that this is not a mirror window in Geisha, as said before. This is both mirror windows being used on the sites, one to watch the stairs and one to watch the back stairs as well here. So
yeah,
Kanto's going to have a lot of info, and they're even going to open up Geisha completely. They're very turtle style, something that I would imagine Rogue actually like to do.
Yeah, they want to be able to fight the angles rather than necessarily have to use the windows for that. And I think that, that could work out if they're able to pop the windows. It could still work out in Rogue's favor, especially with the long angles and ACOG plays they have. Now this is a team that used to push with Monty, a shield play, onto T-Room. The question is, will they use Blitz in a similar fashion to be able to push into T-Room, or are they going to go for a different attack altogether? They did open the window on T at least, to be able to put some pressure on there. But Eclipse is focused on Terrace instead. Trying to see if he can catch anyone off guard there, but no one's really trying anything. I think they're a little concerned about runouts. Pengu actually on Vigil as well. Could be a little bit of a roam problem for them. And then
Gazu's already used one of the C4s available to the team. There's still another one on Jonas. I'll bring the C4 on the Bandit. Slash right on the entrance here, the balcony. Goga as well set up by the mirror window, and of course the opening that they have. This is very tactical positioning from Penta. They've opened up specific angles to play with against their opponents that they're expecting them to move in. And here Eclipse will throw in both of his smoke nades as we hit the minute 30 mark. Pengu rotates into the site, sits up behind the wall. And this will be the fight that the Glass will try to take here. Eclipse, the first kill for Slash and the second for Eclipse. As Eclipse stands in the smoke here, takes more damage. Eclipse gets one more on Kanto. And Brian with one more on Jonas. Last alive is Fabian, the captain. But now the mirror window is playing against him. They'll try to take him down. He's got barely any health left. Slash will clean him up on the Blitz. This is Rogue. Perfect droning and execution.
Between the Glaz and the Blitz, it was just a death machine rolling in there. It was a little bit slow at first, but once they got that door open and started pressuring, you saw the fact that the Glaz was backing him up, even when he wasn't always watching where Blitz was. The shots fired, you saw, for example, they were playing in karaoke. They had the wall to peek T door from the stairs, but because they saw those Glaz shots coming, they knew it was not safe to peek that Blitz. And because of that, that gave Slash all the freedom he needed to start waltzing on in. And that was just good teamwork between those two. And they turned those into frags, not just push.
And that's the thing. Penta were quite possibly not expecting the Blitz. If they had expected it, would probably had the mirror window set up in Geisha, because then they would have a pure line of sight. You saw the quick flicks here from Eclipse, who just takes them down one by one.
For a guy that spent most of the time watching a barricaded door, somehow turned that around into multiple kills after. It's interesting, too, that both teams volunteered to play the secondary bomb site first, and then they both volunteered to play upstairs after, rather than repeat the same defense. They're both going to switch upstairs without being forced to. So definitely both teams just trying to feel it out at first, seeing what worked, and seeing if they could catch the other team off guard. It didn't really work. They both lost those defenses, so now they're going to start to make some adjustments and play more to the meta and see what they could do. But
that's a sweet Valcam spot.
You're seeing a lot more of those spots where they do a little bit of destruction, open a little bit of a hole, and then stick the camera in there.
Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. That is sweet. Well, make sure that you check that spot whenever you're playing ranked back home, because that place is going to be used for the next month.
That's like the plant spot that we saw on Bank inside the plants.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. But here you see Rogue with a standard setup. They set up with a mirror window in the hallway from Geisha through. This is standard. Of course, they have reinforced both of the walls next to them, so they do not get shot through the window, even from the secondary window, at least from the projector room.
Yeah, Kento's going to have to be a little more careful, because last time he was the first one to fall on basically a similar attack here. Now they do see that the battery's there. They know the tricking's going to be happening from Shuttle. He almost tested it with his shoulder there to see if it's still electrified. That's the hard part. Sometimes you can't tell exactly when it's the battery's on it, so they need to try and stop the tricking with the grenades here, and that comes down to good timing and placement to try and stop those. But the tricking's still happening. Shuttle barely alive, but doing his job, sticking it, making it so hard for Goga, but Pengu finishes the work, and now he's going to open that right up.
Pengu from even the main window, I believe, to shoot all the way down in there. It's a very close angle to play with. You see Rogue has already fallen back, and they're using the open holes to their advantage to shoot in. Jonas is downstairs, and of course, being the Zofia, he can use his grenades to just open up the floorboards above him and shoot into a mirror.
A lot of off-site playing from Rogue. They're definitely playing a somewhat retake strategy, playing on stairs, playing back from the bomb sites. They're trying to bait Penta into the crossfires so that they're actually taking the battles they want to instead of getting picked from windows. But Juna says, nah, I'll get you from these stairs as well. Takes down easily, and that is now the Valkyrie down as well as the Bandit.
Yeah, Eclipse rushes in. Unfortunately, he does not ADS fast enough. Slash will expend most of the magazine here on the mirror. He's forced to reload. Brian with a pick on Goga, though. He'll spot the second one. That's the sledge. He'll go down. Kanta Raketti making it happen with the SMG-11. He is still somehow alive. He'll go in here. Brian trying to face off against Jonas. Pulls up the RG-15. Takes him out of his misery.
Well, that's 4 attack rounds in a row, showing no matter the bomb site, they just can't seem to hold up against all the angles being played. Both teams being very aggressive, but also very controlled in terms of they're pushing, and they're pushing hard when they do, but they're also waiting till they have the opportunity to push and some knowledge of where the players are at. So even playing back like the way Rogue did was not enough to get them in those positions that they were not getting ferreted out by Penta. You saw them continually push on, oh, we'll play on the stairs, we'll get pushed from below. You see that from Junis especially. Even that aggressive push onto him in Kitchen from Eclipse completely backfired, and Junis was just on top of it, and I think that was a big reason why they won that. Also, the nice shot onto Bandit shuttle, giving Goga the opportunity to open that wall. Between those two things, it was a nice pinch all around onto Rogue, although I think that was a good defense for the most part. They just were not prepared from that flank from Junis.
One thing we were talking about a year ago is basically, when will the time come where teams will time with 3 or 4 different operators to try and get a pinch? And that's exactly what you saw there with the Thermite trying to open. That was Goga. You saw the Bandit trick. Well, in that close-up angle, you had the grenades. You had the timing from Thatcher that tried to basically play the mind game with the Bandit so he stays in the spot. So Kantar knows where to bounce the grenade into him.
It's something you're going to be playing over and over again.
Yes.
Anytime you attack Geisha, you know how they're going to be playing it. They're going to be playing that Bandit. They're usually going to use mirror windows to help. They're going to be playing that corner. You can practice those grenades. It's not something you just waltz into and be like, oh, I guess we have to figure this out now.
And that's the thing.
We've done this 500 times.
You have the Thatcher that was timing it with them. They had the Thermite. You also had the Sledge. And on the other side, you still had Pengu. So he was on the Habana. The instant the Bandit does not die to the grenade, he's forced out of position, so the Habana will take the pick anyways from the window and projector room. So this is all perfect teamwork that meshes together to take down that one operator that would slow things down so much for Penta.
And that's the hard part, is you want to reinforce some of the wall between Karaoke and that room so you can prevent a lot of those angles. You only want to do the one panel because you want to leave some of the other panels open to be able to fight back into Karaoke if they get in. And that's the hard part with reinforcements is, in there, when you see new players, they want to reinforce everything. They want to barricade everything. But then you leave yourself the inability to retake, and so you have to carefully choose your angles, and that's why we see Castle being such an important play in a lot of strategies, is being able to set up the angles in your favor, use impact nades, use shotguns, be able to open the holes where you want to, but those, as we like to say, work both ways, and that includes where we saw the mirror window even backfiring on Penta later on their defense. It's just a difficult thing to completely control because as a defender, you set up your defense to use for your favor.
Yeah.
But almost always you're going to lose a majority of that in a fight. And you have to really decide where your beachheads are. Like, for example, when you're guarding kitchen, right? You're guarding that hatch above in Geisha above the kitchen. And it's like, okay, we cannot lose this hatch because if we do, they control the room, they control the site, and we can't do anything. But then you end up with a reverse scenario where Easily is stuck upstairs over that hatch, and now he can't do anything because they're planting in a separate room. And it always is this counterbalance, and you really have to read during the match where you need to be playing, how you need to be playing your defenses, and even just a misplaced shotgun hole can cost you a lot in terms of your ability to hold an angle. You saw, for example, that shotgun hole in the plant that I was talking about didn't go all the way to where he was planting, and because it didn't go that last little bit, he didn't have the angle. So it's just the small, minute things at this professional level of play that make all the difference.
Wise words have been said before. It's if you're preparing your strategy around everything going perfectly, you've already lost.
Yeah, you have to have backups. That's why I love the double hard breacher attacks, for example, especially when you have a great Thermite like Goga, and it's not a waste even if you don't need it. Obviously, you can still use it for the Geisha wall, but you can also use the X-Kairos if it comes to it. You have options, and someone's going to die. You're not going to go in with 5 men alive to take the site. You need to plan around flexibility, you need to plan around, and that's why we do still give a credit to people that are good fraggers, because when it comes down to it, gadgets may not always work out, but killing the other players does help a lot in making sure that that happens. So you need to be able to use your gun once your gadgets are done, and someone like Goga is a perfect example of that. And he's been really showing up this weekend, I think, because he has on days and off days, same with Junis, but I think both of them have proven, at least at LAN, they've really been showing up. And that's something that's been more of a struggle for them. But it's nice to see Rogue, I think, are playing a lot better than they did yesterday. I think Ranger probably had some words with them about what they did wrong. I know he mentioned specifically to me like some of the things he just thought they were just doing really dumb things. And I think that goes in when you overestimate a team, or underestimate a team rather, like Nora Rengo. And I think that was a big mistake. But you don't overestimate Penta, I guess, because you know they're going to be really, really good, and I think Rogue are then going to go in a lot more prepared, a lot more like we need to focus. We can't goof around. We can't do dumb things. We can't be over aggressive, and but it's been so back and forth that both these teams And this is Rogue's map, though. They cannot afford to lose this because there's a very good chance that border goes to Penta.
And you see there, Kantarukari looking at the team, telling them, "You'll have my axe," and that's we'll see if he can actually bring it through here. Our homeboy Gimli.
Yeah, we need to see the battle of the subs. I want to see Kanto versus the shuttle, like for clutch rounds.
The battle of the 5 armies.
Yeah. Well.
All right. Well, let's head into game, ladies and gentlemen. 2-2 here on Skyscraper as we're going to be changing sites. All right.
All right. Office. Interesting change up here from Penta. This is this is one that's played occasionally. You know, is a secondary site somewhat in ranked, but not one that you regularly see in Pro League. It's just a difficult site to defend. There's a lot of access to windows from multiple angles. There's the walls that you have to reinforce on the A site. It's just a lot of different angles to watch, and you have to worry about those stairs as well coming up, which of course they can use to their advantage, but it's just too much to watch, and Castle becomes a super important part of defending the site.
So this is going to be turtle to one end, and then roaming around to try and hold the dragon or delay as long as possible. The drum and the dragon, those are the two important parts.
Yeah, that's like Meeting Hall in Oregon to this site.
Basically. So you need to take control of this area and hold it for as long as possible. Fortunately for you as a defender, it's much easier because there are limited angles that you can get shot.
Yeah, and luckily there are some hatches you can drop if you start getting pressured, but there's a lot of repel window angles that can be used against you, and that's the difficulty. Now, if they brought something like glass, that could be even more punishing, but I imagine they were anticipating attacking karaoke again.
Bomb has been located.
In this case, they're just going to have to adapt, but last time they did, they brought a different strat for karaoke than this. They're going to be bringing a lot more of the soft destructors like we saw before on that first attack that they did. I think maybe they were expecting Kitchen again, if nothing else. But Kanto going to be playing on that Vigil for this realm, something we saw him do yesterday as well. So he's playing to his strengths that he played yesterday, and that's the beauty of Penta, is letting Kanto play to his strengths.
Yeah, and this is the thing that Kanto in the past has kind of struggled with. Sometimes it's the mentality of thinking, oh, I have to do this thing and this much for the team. Well, now with Penta, he's a lot more relaxed. He knows that he'll get the support of every single position, every single one of his co-players, if you will. And that's why he can only focus on just the one task that he has at hand, and Fabian's going to be relaying all of those.
Yeah, that is the way to do it. It seems to be working out for the most part, although at least Rogue's putting up a good battle here in terms of being tied up, both of them winning both attacks. So the first team to win a defense here is going to definitely be at the advantage, something that I feel like it's fallen off a little bit in terms of seeing a lot of maps go, one side or the other, especially when all these regions meet like this. But this has definitely been a battle here of who can defend the best. And maybe bringing out an offsite like this will be the key to that. They're even going to bandit trick the wall here.
Ooh,
and
nice.
That is going to be...
that's the only hard destructor Rogue has.
Yeah, that is a big, big win there because... Oh, there it is. I said it easily takes damage from a flank.
And even the leg. Oh my god. This is Goga. This is Goga just running around playing the Jaeger. All right, what are you going to do? You can't push into me, and he'll win it. Easily will go down. He's got an ADS as well to protect him. As you see, the quick peek from the Ying, and he'll go down. Eclipse now on the floor.
Mid-reload. And that's only because you can cancel reloads now, too. That's a nice feature there.
And the 3K. The 3K for Goga. Brian will get him finally here and end this shenanigans, but now the diffuser is set right in the middle, right in front of the dragon, and all that Penta have to do is look at it and make sure nobody goes in.
That was a failed clear from the other side of the map. They really needed to come at Drum from the other side, push Goga out, because that cost them pretty much this win. It's going to be a very hard clutch attempt here against these guys turtled up in this site, especially with those castles set up the way they were. And lost a hard breacher, and there's some shots taken mid-vault as well, not to mention the vault itself might have done a little bit of damage, so Slash going to be in a bit of a pinch here, and then 10 seconds remaining.
This is pretty much nigh impossible. Kantarukari, of course, doing a lot of the damage as well. That took two of the players very low on health, and unfortunately here, you're going to run up. There's a castle barricade. The wall is reinforced. You cannot really crawl your way in, and Pengu has easy shots on them going up the stairs. They line up for him, and he gets the 2K.
Well, the surprise defense finally wins, despite them trying to catch them off guard with Kitchen. That is a bomb site that is often played. They just were not prepared to be attacking that bomb site, and then Goga absolutely capitalized on that. Rogue are not going to try the same thing. They're not going to go to the office. They're not going to try and play any other weird sites, but they are going to go back to Kitchen and try that yet again, despite not winning the top floor. So they're going to hope to pull off what Penta just did. We could see that. We have seen that often with teams where one of them will break the streak, and then the other one will also break it. But Goga just alone won that round. Those plays completely tore apart their ability to open that site. Not just that, but killing Ying as well tore apart their ability to have any kind of surprise attack on the turtle defenders at that point. he decimated all the most important operators in a single 3K there, and that completely changed the round for them. And I don't know if we'll see something like that again in terms of where it just, you can totally surprise them from that side. I imagine they're going to clear in the future if they have to attack that site, but it was a fantastic play.
Of course, reminder that we are playing with tactical pauses. This is a new rule set that League Ops has introduced in the past month or so, where at LAN you will have 1 minute timeout per team per map, where your team can talk to their coach. That's the important bit. So the coach tell you, all right, this is what happened wrong, this is what we need to change, this is what I'm expecting them to do, and it also clears out the minds of the players here. Very important for both of our teams as we're gonna head into the game. There we go, 3-2 up for Penta, but now Rogue on the defense, and Penta winning the defense, that is the important bit.
Yeah, and that is a big game changer. Rogue need to win this one because, again, if they get on the back foot on this map, that puts Penta at match point. And if Penta win this map, it is a very, very difficult slog for Rogue because, yeah, maybe they could win Oregon, but then they've got to get through Border. And we saw how much of a struggle that was for EG. Sure, maybe EG won Oregon, and yeah, okay, Penta aren't the greatest at Oregon, but you got to get there, and Rogue need to win this, not just this map, but this round at this point, just because of the way it's been back and forth. And they're bringing pretty much the same attacker lineup for the most part on Penta because, well, it's been working. No one's really been losing attacks outside of Rogue. So we'll see if Eclipse can be the big game changer again on that roaming Ella. Shuttle going to be bringing out that castle again. Something that, you know, we've seen help shape a lot of these attacks, but with all the soft destructors that are being brought, it hasn't really impacted it as much as you would like.
He's not really been able to do the damage that Ella has been known for. Of course, kind of been brought back into the metagame for a lot of teams after you know, the 80% pick that we had her at before.
See, the nice thing about having Goga is now he was able to open up 2 angles into karaoke walls, one into Geisha and one into the hallway, and he wouldn't have been able to afford to do that if they didn't have the extra thermite just in case they needed to use him for the Geisha wall. Some nice pressure coming out here on Eclipse, though, the old sister rivalry, as we like to say, but not any kills resulting out of it, just pressure, and Eclipse is free to rotate back to site.
I'll remind you that the Ella takes a less concussive effect from that, but here Shuttle will get the first kill on Kantaraketi, who's now, of course, down with the sledge. Said it's not really the worst of losses, but losing the sledge when it's a very soft wall map and you lose out the 2 grenades, you know, at some point you might want to use them because you want to pull back any of the angles. Yeah,
well, to be fair, last time he died first, they still won the round, so definitely within the realm possibility, though the stunts coming out both ways here. Eccles' revenge there in that room after he managed to escape. But as I say that, speaking of revenge, Junis does finally finish the job onto Eclipse. Nicely done, forced onto the pistol, but still making it work. And Goga, again, still continuing his hot streak.
Works out here. You see Fabian even downstairs. They have all 3 angles to play with. It's now he'll peek in. Not sure if they were able to drone him out. Well, as I say that, they're going to drone him in. I'll give the information of the one player that's standing behind the bar. Even the he's sitting in the bathroom here. Brian.
A lot of offsite play. Again, last time the Junis made good work of that offsite play. They need to stop him again this time, as well as Fabian pressuring there. Fortunately, Shuttle doesn't hit the shots and easily gets shut down by Pengu.
Now, last 2 players now alive. Easily was set behind the bar. Now you'll see the rotation to Shuttle. Now will be set in the rotation right by our Saka down here. Try to go for the shots, and he'll drop Fabian. That's Diffuser. Brian as well getting the second one. But as the pistol is being thrown out, he'll drop the player on the floor. Brian last alive. He has to throw in the smoke and possibly take out his teammate in the process. No, he'll stay alive. Just crawling on the floor. Shuttle trying to pull away the thermite, being spotted by Brian. Only downs him. Cannot get the kill just yet. Jonas comes in. He'll spot the player on the floor. Spot the peak as well, but there's 2 players left alive. It's only 1v1. The pistol comes up versus the shotgun, and Jonas clutches it! Torile, there you go. That's Jonas. He's back in play.
He got so excited his headphones flew off. he was not ready to win that.
I can imagine that. Yeah, that's a celebration. That's a celebration. That wow. This is the Jonas that we've been longing to see. Unfortunately, has not had the best of luck during the online season, but there you go.
Yeah.
He's here.
You can see the callouts from Slash, a little bit of frustration there as they're trying to figure out what's going so wrong that they are now on match point on their map, the one they need to win. And now it's going back to karaoke here finally from Penta. They've successfully won the one weird bomb site choice for them, but having won yet another attack round
It was almost a comeback, actually, in that round, just because of the close angles that were played at the end by Rogue.
Unfortunately for match point, Penta don't need to win this round. Because even if they lose this round, they go on attack again in a 4-3 situation, and all they've got to do is win one more attack to turn this into a map win. And that is a great place to be. Now you see them reinforcing 2 walls of Karaoke this time. So that is what I was talking about in terms of the problems with the angles.
Yeah, usually it's the one that you were talking about.
Yeah, they're
usually the one on the left.
Yeah, they're still going to open up a little bit of the wall, though. They still want the ability to retake the room if need be to be able to fight that window if people are vaulting in. And of course, they're going to open up the wall where Kanta is opening up as well. You need that to be able to kind of peek both the stairs as well as the door. Helps you control the room a little bit better, because otherwise you can't fight it from T-room very well, and that hallway can be a death trap.
I wonder what Penta will change, because Rogue are bringing Slash on the Blitz again. And when Eclipse is on the glass as well, you really want to be as far away as possible.
I think they'll try and shut down one of those 2 as soon as possible. And you've got Pengu on the Pulse this time, who could be the one to shut down Blitz from below. Once Blitz is shut down, then they're a little more safe to try and peek on Glaz if they know where he's going to be playing. And he's playing the same spot he played last time, watching a lot of wooden barricades. Now, he's not getting a lot of kills out of it. He can start firing to put some pressure on them, make them a little less wary about peeking, but I think he wants them to peek a little bit at the beginning. But Pengu actually not playing it downstairs. He's going to be playing it in the gold room, trying to secure T as best he can in the one spot he can secure. And we're not seeing what we used to see, which is a lot of buck play from below to stop people from playing in gold like that. You could still have Ash doing that, though.
Yeah, he throws in that breaching round, and because of the angle that he threw it in, he takes down both barbed wires with a single round. And now it is up to Slash to come in, but no shuttle will fall to the floor. Jonas is able to get the first pick. This will reduce the effectiveness of the attack here at Rogue, because they cannot just throw in those flashes to blind their opponents and leave Fabian in a position where he cannot contest the Blitz coming in, as Slash takes a bit of damage.
A little bit too much damage from that. And here's Eclipse going to start putting some pressure on, but not actually regressing into the room. Pengu, I think, helping out a lot here in terms of controlling Slash, letting them know when it's safe to peek, how far they're pushing up. But Eclipse on this flank could be the crucial play that they need, especially starts opening up holes into Geisha. Fortunately, no one's standing behind those, and now Junis is going to try and counter him.
Oh, there you go. Junis will be able to spot the Glaz running all the way back, as easily get the kill on Fabian. This is smoke eliminated before he was able to do really any damage. Now that mirror window is practically useless, as Goga cannot really use it to his advantage, being so far away. And of course, Jaeger not having an ACOG to try to even capitalize on the information that's behind. They'll rely on Pengu. So he's going to get baited for just a second here out of the cardiac sensor, easily spraying in. The drones have already come in and gotten the spot on the bandit. They need to shut him up, but just because of that reinforced wall, it's so difficult for them to control him. He can just stand in the back. Pengu will throw in expecting a push, but it's not that fast. Jonas already taken down easily. That's 3 alive, Eclipse, Slash, and Brian. Rogue need this round to stay alive in this matchup. The first map that they have is Eclipse comes in, takes down Jonas from behind. The PMM has been pulled out. The best pistol in the game here. Slash gets one more. The last 2 alive. Pengu from behind, though, gets the kill on Eclipse. Will stand in the T-room, denying the diffuser plant for just a second. Kanta with one more. Last alive is the Blitz, with 2 left alive. And there you go. Pengu will clean it up. Penta Sports take map number 1. And this was Rogue's map, 5-2. Very effective on the defense with 2 defensemen of Penta.
It's not just saying Rogue's map isn't just because they picked it. This was Rogue's map, and they should have won this one. And this is the struggle we saw them have with EG as well in the seeding match that they played during the season, where they brought this out as the surprise map and still lost it. So despite having some great plays, you saw that of all the people to have surprise plays, it was Penta. And that's why they won it. The surprise play that they had on playing the defense over in Office, and then finally figuring out Karaoke. Although that was a close one on Karaoke, I do feel like there was a good chance Rogue could have won that, but they just lost too many people in the last few seconds there as they tried to push, and leaving it all in Slash was not great. Although I got to give a lot of credit to Slash living that whole time. He was under a lot of fire from a lot of different angles, took a lot of shots to the hand, still survived pretty much to the end, but unfortunately, Eclipse finally getting shut down. It wasn't quite the storm that they had the last time they pushed it. And now it's going over to Border, which is a map that is notoriously in Penta's favor. Absolutely. And Penta dominated on it yesterday as well.
If I looked at it just like our analyst is, because they already explained this, but we'll repeat it to you. For Penta, they can pretty much go to a 3rd map and they'll be fine.
Yeah.
The problem is here that Rogue went for that first map with Skyscraper. They needed to win that map to take it into the second half, some sort of advantage to play with, because looking at their plays and talking to them after the game that they had versus Norengu yesterday, they were frustrated. They were flustered. They didn't know what really happened. It took them so long to warm up, and you cannot take that long when you're facing against currently the best team in the world. You just cannot let your guard down for 1 second. And the instant that happens, you're all dead.
Yeah, I can see a little bit of pressure on Ranger's face there. I was joking with him yesterday saying that we can kind of gauge how Rogue's going to do based off his facial expressions, because he is kind of the heartbeat of the team in terms of trying to make sure.
Very an emotional man.
Maybe we should move to France or Brazil. we like to say the emotional ones. Although it's a nice mixed bag there over on Penta. Shaz, of course, trying to make sure they stay on top, calling out the strats they should be using from the strat book there, which is a very deep strat book for these guys. And Penta are good at not showing too much during the season, saving a lot. In fact, that could be why we saw them maybe drop a little more maps than Rogue. However, this is a map that both teams have won once during the season. Yep. So not showing a ton, but showing successful things does mean they would have studied both what each team did, going to be looking for weaknesses. But it's up to the coach versus coach battle of who did the best analysis to be prepared for the toughest matchup Rogue's going to face regardless.
All right, USA chants going right here in Atlantic City in the concert hall. Well, let's see how this goes. Map number 2, Rogue need to win this one to take it to the third and possibly all the way to the grand final. Penta versus Rogue, border.
For Gio.
For Gio, very much so. Our wonderful Mexican friend. I really do miss Gio. Gio is one of my favorite people to hang out with. Unfortunately, he's not here. I'm pretty sure he's watching this at home. He's like, you know what, these are my boys. I know that they can do it. We'll see if they can actually put all that effort that Ranger has done in the back and actually make it happen, translate it into an actual effect, because actions, they speak louder than words.
And bullets, they speak louder than words
Very
too.
much so.
But in this case, Penta are going to be doing what I was saying earlier, where they start off on vents on border, something that just seems to work out pretty well for them overall. And the stronger the team, the more they are willing to lose some of those initial rounds. And honestly, that is the strength of a team like Penta, is, as we talked about earlier, as you were mentioning just briefly before this map, that they are a team that is okay losing early maps. They can lose in the beginning of the map, in the beginning of the match. They can lose the first map or so and still be fully ready to come back. And that is something you saw a team like Fnatic, for example, yesterday struggling with, is that coming back from that tilt, coming back from that loss is very difficult. And a team like Penta wins because they can do that consistently. The question is, can Rogue do that? Because they need it more than ever now that they had to start on their pick and didn't win it. We are going to see a fairly typical setup for the top floor, but of course the bomb site is below it. So this is again going to be just like Kitchen was on Skyscraper, where you have to defend it from above. You're defending some hatches, you're defending the ability to fight through the floor. And it looks like they're going to go for probably an office take from the side, although they're going to clear East Stairwell first and see what's in store for them inside the offices. Junis, of course, is going to be playing that Bandit so they can make sure that these walls are a little more secure in terms of stopping the Habana pressure from Shuttle.
That one office is where Eunice lives, breathes, and sleeps and eats, because every single time you see a highlight from Eunice, it is in this spot. As he runs up, Slash, you know what? He's ready for him. Sit down, Eunice.
About Eunice deciding maybe he should have stayed in the office. That was his place.
Exactly. That's exactly.
It's ironic that was on Slash of all people too.
All right. Well, easily we'll open up the wall here. It has not been reinforced. Pengu, this is one of his favorite spots.
Yeah, he loves standing up there.
We've seen yesterday work wonders.
That's where he lives and breathes. Yeah, the top of that is also used for a lot of grenades, but Brian, and this is the start we saw on Skyscraper's Belt, coming in super strong in their initial attack. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this round go over to Rogue, although you never know. Pengu is positioned to try and go for a flanker, though Lion stops that short order. Nicely done by Eclipse. Good timing there. Funny to see Eclipse online of all people, and that's going to spot Goga out, who is now forced and grenaded out by Slash. Nice use, nice combo, but Pengu gets that flank he was hoping for, takes down 2, Fabi gets 1 more.
And now it's a 3K. Eclipse, though, will take down Fabian, and you know what? It's now all up to Pengu as he drops into the workshop. 1:12 left on the clock, and it's already super chaotic here in the round. First round of Border. Pengu falls back onto the site, but does he know there's one coming in through the bathrooms? That, of course, is the Lion of Eclipse. See how loud he can roar. We'll see the rotation. 54 seconds left on the clock. A lot of time for Rogue to play with. They don't really have a ton to work with here. Eclipse ready. Prone on the other side of the hallway, and will get a straight shot on Pengu as he rotates in. Rogue, as we saw in map 1, will take the first shot on Border.
And that's something they need. And I was talking about the momentum and the other things like that earlier. When you're a team that's down on your map like that and you're really in a tough spot, winning your first round is the best way to come back. And you hear the chants from the crowd of let's go Rogue. Let's see if they can turn this into
look
2
at
rounds.
Ranger. He's happy. This
Finally
is the face of
smile.
a happy man.
Let's see. 2 rounds in a row would be enough to put Rogue in the spot where they can make this happen. Although I got to imagine Pengu with that flank definitely put a big question mark over the W there. Slash going to be playing that Rook that he's so good at. There's very few Rook players left now that K9's not on a team. And Slash is definitely channeling that old school play.
When in doubt, every spot is K9 spot.
That's right.
That's the rule set we live and die by as casters. But Fabian will bring the Twitch, and we'll remind you at Gamescom.
Yeah.
The Season 6.
He is a brutal Twitch.
Season 5 finals. Fabian got 2 kills as he sprayed into CCTV window, and that was just 2 headshots as they crossed in.
Well, you know, with the FAMAS, you just point in their general direction and press
Basically.
mouse 1, basically.
All right, we'll see the setup here. Now, all of Fountain will be relinquished by Rogue. They'll open it up completely. This is a bit of an older way of playing where the focus is CCTV.
It looks like they've even not fully reinforced the armory wall, and there's no mirror window on it just yet.
And honestly, you don't even have to use the second mirror window until you know where your opponents are going to attack from. And this is something that I love about this defense is that you force your opponents to take make the decision on where they want to go because of the way the defense is set up. Then you can go put whatever reinforcement you want.
Yeah, the problem is if you do that too late, you have Junis there to be able to bust open that wall, or if they had an Ashe as well. And that's the big problem, because they could do that at a range the minute they see that weakness, and then all of a sudden that makes putting up that mirror that much riskier. But they are going to make sure it's clear from below as well, just in case. That's the last thing you want to worry about, is someone trying to flank you from below, or a C4 from a pulse, something like that, but it doesn't look like they're going to be bringing that. Although they do have some players that could be easily on the roam, like Eclipse.
I see the Bandit battery being set up here.
Oh,
Shuttle will get forced back, and they'll be able to set up the Thermite. Well done here by Penta as they open up the wall.
A little bit of extra damage there from the shock drone of Fabian as he tries to run away, and then Pengu, the one to finish off Slash. That's the Rook down, the big armor gone, outside of easily on Mira.
And this is Pengu's favorite spot. He takes a bit of damage, but just because he rotates all the way to the top of the building, and then from there walks along the edge, drops down, takes around 10% damage from it, but it's a lot safer of a rotation because you can get easily picked off from the armory if you just try to rappel up through the bus.
Yeah, it's one of the few things that are in the meta to do damage to yourself. But they have a very nice crossfire here on the room, but unfortunately Easily has an even better angle. That's a great pick on Kento, and that's the crossfire down. That's Pengu in a tougher spot now.
Yeah, this is a pretty sweet spot here, playing from the armory desk. Try to get a click here.
Just
on
the
Pengu.
timing between those two.
Oh, look at the spray. Pengu taken down easily. And that's now the C4 and the Mira taken out of play. Brian can shut them down if you see the rotation. Goga is still in the back. And he can come in and just plant right at the doorway, but he has to worry about the one player playing in the back of the armory still. Walks in. There's still one C4. Brian will go down. Shuttle taking a lot of damage. Goga will run in for some reason here. Tied to the fire of Shuttle. Eclipse cannot find the frag just yet as Pengu getting the information. We've seen the Bearing 9, how strong it can be used in the correct way, and Fabian sprays into Eclipse, and Rogue go down as Penta to equalize at 1-1.
Deja vu of Skyscraper again with 2 successful attack rounds in a row. This time though, the difference is on Skyscraper, they both started off on the off-bomb site. On Border, only Penta did, but it could go either way. I feel like the one thing these teams are showing that will bode well against the other teams in Group B is the fact that both of them have very good time management. We're seeing time and time again the end of the round coming still within 45 seconds or so of the clock.
This is so different than what we saw from Millennium.
It completely did, and that's the thing is if Millennium win their match, the team here that goes against them has so much better time management than a lot of these other teams that I think that's going to be a huge, huge factor because they are in those battles with enough time left if they win them to get the plant down. The only problem is most of the time they're just not getting to that point. They're dying too often towards the end, and it's coming down to a lot of 2v2s in the end, and the first person to drop in the 2v2 tends to be the team that loses that battle just because they're not winning these 1v2s because all these guys are top fraggers.
Knowing how both teams are moving around and really being able to aggressively get into positions where they can corner peek very quickly, I wonder when we'll see the Legion being played because he slows down every single player that tries to do these kinds of antics, And when you're dealing with the blitz that we saw before, or even with Kanta that's running around with the Ashe, or Jonas on the Zofia, you see him here shaking it all out. Maybe the Legion.
Well, if anyone would bring it, you'd think it'd be Fabian. We just have not seen it from him yet. I mean, we saw it a little bit yesterday, something he's notorious for, because he's one of the early players to adopt Legion, because he's the IGL, because he's great at communicating a lot of information about what's going on the map. Having a Legion for that, someone that can play a little more passive and get a lot of information from their utility, because it's, I mean, yeah, there's other characters you can do. You can do that with Valkyrie by getting cameras up. You can do that with Ella by getting mines up. But you get 8 goo mines.
Yeah.
You can't get that much intelligence with any other operator. Sure, it takes you the whole round to get 8, but as the round progresses, you're going to be giving more and more information to your team. And then if you die, you can still see those. You can still give out information with whatever ones you have left. But it's a big question mark when that's going to come out. I mean, this is a good map for it, but I'd say Oregon also a very good map for it if we get that far. It's just hard to say if we're going to get there. At least Rogue started off with the first map win, so they're not completely out of it yet. But can they win another attack? We are going to see them bringing a Capital, which is a little bit of a change up here, from Eclipse, and then easily going to be on that Buck. We used to talk about how much we enjoyed seeing Eclipse on the Buck, and I feel like we've seen that die down quite a bit, not just in how often he plays it, but how often it's been successful. So it's been good to see Eclipse diversifying a lot in different roles, some of them working better than others. And then Shuttle here actually going to be on Thermite. So rather than bringing a Habana, something they more typically bring. And Slash on that Ying has been a bit of a mixed bag as well, because sometimes he'll get a little over-aggressive with those Candelas, because he's a player that is known to need a bit of restraint. And playing a role like that, you need to be playing a little bit back for your team. It's not a Thermite kind of role where you need to hold back completely for a while, but you still need to play the timing right and not just jump into your own Candelas.
I see this attack setup from Rogue, and all it tells me is attack the armory, because you can use the Capital very easily to smoke out any defender that's set up in the desk area, because, well, obviously you're going to see a mirror window that's going to be set up there. You can smoke out the other side as well, the middle of the...
It's not just the smoke. It's also that you're not just cutting off angles. It's the fire arrows can cut off the ability to rotate into the room, because there's limited ways to rotate, but they have to control CCTV, because a flank from behind by someone like Pengu would really cost them all of that attack right there. So they're going to have someone like Brian sitting on flank watch once they get that wall open, and I imagine that's what's going to happen. He has the Claymore, he has his gun to sit there and watch it carefully. So once they get that wall open, now I imagine they probably wouldn't necessarily need Capito if Ying still had the smokes, but as I said, the fire is a nice added bonus to cut off any rotations to people trying to pressure in. Maybe it'd be nice if they had a line to go with that as well, but you only get so many ops.
Bomb located by
well, we need to gimp Fabian somehow, right?
Yeah, he can't use all the time.
Well, Rogue will lose the first one.
Ooh.
Jonas still playing in the lockers, usually playing behind the low wall in the back.
But that's gonna restore his ability to battery trick by taking out that Buck there. Super important kill early on for Jonas. And having this mirror window here is a little bit of a riskier angle, but it provides for some really nice peek outs.
Now we've seen even when teams will bring a Twitch, they would try to even shoot the mirror window from the floor below that. There's some really sneaky things that you can do to shut down that
still alive.
Yeah, well, unfortunately not the case here. Gonna have the EMP being thrown in here. A shuttle going in for the Thermite setup, and that'll be burned away by Jonas, but Slash will get the kill on Pengu, and a signature smoke.
Worth it for the bandit tricking in this case, because taking out Pengu is also important, but Shuttle's so low on health means he could die before he's able to use that second one. I mean, even taking a little bit of damage from the battery could be enough to end his life in this. They really need to get this kill onto Jonas. They have some holes in the floor. They could still make this happen, but the kill onto Pengu wasn't enough to get them into the room. And that's the thing here. And they even barricaded this door just to make sure there was going to be no cheeky peeks while they tried to rotate between the office archives and the site. So they're actually going to use their Thermite charge on the wall and fountains. This is a different take here. That deployable shield. Oh, there we... What?
What was that?
Completely stopped there. Nicely done.
How... Wait, was that a peek from Kant? Wait, does he even have an angle on that from the back?
It is yeah.
If that is Jonas and Kanto that peeked up at the last second,
hopefully we shot replays what happened there.
Or maybe Fabian was from below and shot. I don't know. This is a bit of an oddity here, but this forces Rogue to go to the side, though. Eclipse will burn Jonas as Fabian stays in, getting Shuttle on the rotation. Slash half HP as Goga gets one more. Goga gets the second one as well on the board. Eclipse is the last alive, and Kanto peeks in for the final pick. Penta dominant in the round.
Goga's been on fire with that Jaeger. Kanto as well just showing up for his team when they need him to. Despite some great kills there by Slash and Eclipse, it just wasn't enough to actually get the site. The late rotate there, the deciding, hey, we can't handle Junis on the Armory wall, we're going to rotate to an Archives take, and then failing to blow the Fountain wall as well. And then unfortunately, Slash just not handling the recoil properly on those shots onto Goga inside Fountain. An unfortunate series of events that left them completely decimated. I mean, easily dying at the beginning of the round, I think pretty much was the cascade of failures that cost them, despite the kill on the Pengu. And that is unfortunate, because I feel like easily could have pulled that off. It was probably just a timing issue. And that's why we see so many teams going with the Zofia and Twitch combo instead, because it's so much safer to take out those batteries that way than dealing with, well, easily running in and dying downstairs. And we're going to see Rogue actually go down here to the vents instead. They're going to be bringing Slash on Pulse and Eclipse on Vigil. And then, of course, Castle is also important for this bomb site. So we're going to shuttle on that task yet again. And Brian on Smoke.
All right, well, they'll reinforce the entirety of the wall here. Now, Castle is a very important operator here, because if you can just set up a castle barricade to prevent anybody from coming in, either through the open area or into the bathroom, and that's a great one. That's where you'll see all three of these barricades used probably here. So they want to take control of the bathroom and make it as difficult as possible for Penta to get through. Because from there, you can pinch out your defenders from every side. And oh God,
nice
Twitch of Fabian taking down Easily's Mira window that's watching through the main hallway.
They were not guarding it.
Now this forces Rogue back. And of course, they don't have a mute or a bandit to shut down the wall that you have there. Kanto will take just a tiny bit of damage, a sliver. Pengu's being fought from the back here, Eclipse solo in the Armory.
Just teasing them at that point. I like the pre-fires though, taking advantage of his roam position to maybe get a little bit of shots on them. Yeah, it didn't do a lot, but that is going to make them a little more wary of those walls. A nice angle there, but Eclipse does find a final kill on the Junis, and Junis having been a little bit of a thorn for them, definitely a good start for Eclipse, who's really been showing up, I'd say, a lot this whole match.
Kanto Ricchetti in control of the security room, CCTV. Pengu peeking in top down. They realize they need to take some sort of control of the armor here, because Eclipse is just running circles around them. As you take down the Claymore from the back without making any sound, and the diffuser is still in the back on the ventilation actually here. Kanto will spray into his former teammates Eclipse body, and Fabian taking down Shuttle, but Eclipse, as you say, takes down Kanto.
I take back what I said earlier about his Vigil play. He's been on fire this round for sure. That is a little bit of an interesting use of the X-Kairos on that castle door. I imagine they would have preferred Junis to open it, but that's what the nice thing about having those backups like we were talking about earlier.
Goga taking a bit more damage as well. Engagement here from Slash. So here the UMP rattling in the back. Fabian will try to find the close angle here on the headshot, but cannot really nail the fight in the main visa entrance.
Finally a man advantage here to Rogue with so much damage on Slash and Brian.
Oh, Slash on Fabian again. Rogue in control of the round. Pengu and Goga are last alive, and they've been top performance so far for Penta in this game. But Slash is ready for him, and he's just ready and waiting.
Well, if anyone can do this, it could be Pengu. He's got to find 4, at least 2 of them at very low health. This is that much more possible, but...
Oh, hello.
Oh,
bye-bye, Slash. What are you trying to do here? He'll go down. He still has 1 X-Kairos to use. Can use it on the castle barricade here.
Looking for the vault that isn't happening.
Move in. He needs to grab the diffuser. There's 28 seconds on the clock with 3 players remaining. Brian, of course, super low on health. Still has a couple canisters to play with. The C4 as well that can be used by Easily, as damage will be taken there by Pengu. He moves in onto the side, spots the Mira. Easily's ready for him. And they'll go down. Rogue with the round.
2-2 yet again. Back to the Skyscraper play, but that is what you want to see between 2 top-tier teams, is this back and forth. Maybe not always as evenly as they'd like, but last time we saw this is where Penta broke away. They got the round that they probably shouldn't have, and because of that, they gained the lead, and it was 4-2, turned into a 5-2. The USA energy coming out for the crowd, though, to try and save Rogue as they win their 2nd round finally, but it is a bit of a struggle here as Penta go back to vents again.
All right, well, if anything, You've seen EG and even Rogue at 6 Invitational feeding off of the crowd. There we go. That's Killmaze. That's actually one of the guys that helped me out a ton with the cosplays there, right in the middle.
Cosplay
That's
Jaeger.
the cosplay that we did as well with Maestro early on.
Shout out
in
to
the
Killmaze.
Now saved quite a bit of time. Of course, maybe in our next couple tournaments, we'll see more of the cosplay scene at the events, because it's always great to see everybody from the multiple parts that make up the Siege community.
Just unfortunately, we couldn't have them at this particular event.
Well, maybe next time, Devin. Maybe next time. Yeah.
Getting some Batman-esque.
Yeah, we had that before. We were talking, you know what? Why doesn't Vigil have a Batman
Give it time.
mask? Well, it's the only time. Justin, I know you hear me. Let's make it happen.
Well, hey, if you get a Predator mask, why not a Batman mask, right?
There you go. Well, let's head back into this here. Penta now back on the defense, and you know what? It's Vince and Workshop yet again. They're going to bring the standard here setup. They've got Eunice, of course, on the Bandit, probably be playing upstairs. Fabian on the smoke this time. Goga on his signature Miro, the MPX.
The big difference is Slash on Blackbeard, of all things, this map. That could either be a big game changer or that could be a big misplay.
Does this smell like let's control the window or what?
I mean, absolutely. That is a B window play a lot of times when you're trying to push onto the vents. Blackbeard can control that very, very well. However, there are some other angles you can play. He can also be very useful for helping take that top floor, especially if you want to pressure from offices. You could play the old AC, crossfire onto archives, and make it so that if they're playing offices like that, they can't cross over from the armory wall side to try and get in there and reinforce the offices, because you can't dedicate all 5 people upstairs. So you know cutting off a rotation is that much more important because there's so much fewer people upstairs. And generally it's a 3-2 split where 3 are up top. So if you can cut off 1 or 2 guys in offices and take them out, it makes for a much easier take, and then from there you can turn that in to a potential win as you take top floor, but depends on where Slash is going to play that. And we'll see easily this time actually the one playing the Thermite instead of Shuttle, who's going to be back on Habana. But they are going with a double Heart Breacher, which is definitely going to be useful here because now they can get any reinforced hatches, get walls, although Eclipse is going to open those. As I said earlier too about Eclipse playing back on that Buck, he's going to be doing that instead of easily. They are trying to get a little bit of lay of land first though, so they can successfully attack into the fountain, and this is the big problem for them.
You see the fountain basically being the biggest part of this defense here, trying to slow down.
That timing on the rotate.
Oh boy, here we go. Grenade's going to get thrown in, and Eclipse pounces right onto Jonas. Now C4 is being thrown. What are you doing, Goga? He goes down. It's no time for a siesta here, my friend. Eclipse will get the second kill of the round here for Rogue, and already a huge advantage for...
No one's on site at the moment. They're all willing to fight this. You rarely see that, where they all 5 are willing to throw down their life to stop this top floor push. That is why the time management's working out for both these teams, and that they're willing to get these fights early instead of just turtle it up.
Bit of damage done to Eclipse, but he's already done quite a bit of work, opening up as much of these soft walls as possible, utilizing his skeleton key. Fabian now rotates down on the site. He heard you. He's calling it out, and he's going to head back on the site. Penta will open up the hatch for a rotation of Penta, but they're trying to delay Rogue as long as possible.
Rogue read into the lack of defense downstairs and rotated smartly, taking the picks that they got upstairs and, well, take advantage of them on the push because you still got 5 alive against 3 and a minute to play with. Well played by Rogue so far.
Now, one of the armor panels still in the back pocket of Pengu. He's not been able to use that.
Might have been a teardown that he was able to recycle.
Yeah, very possible.
The taps almost hit a face there.
To open up the sidewall here so they don't really have to worry too much about that bathroom. Slash will hold this angle for as long as needed. Fabian throwing in his smoke at the 36-second mark. It's almost perfectly timed, but Eclipse will get the frag on Fabian. There you go. No more smoke to play with. Again, all up to Kanto and Pengu with 5 alive on Rogue, and this will have a ton of utility to use.
Well, they're definitely already taking damage onto Kento as well.
Call the fight! Pengu from the side. He's going to aid his teammate here and bring him down easily, but Eclipse will take down Kanto and Shuttle for the last. Pengu going down. You know what? This might be Penta's map historically, but Rogue are giving them a hell of a run for their
That was one of the best rounds we've seen for Rogue so far, almost going with a flawless 5. The energy coming out from the crowd as we see the first lead for Rogue here turned around. It was a 2-1 lead. Absolutely, yeah. Let's keep that smiling up, guys, because it is a hard road yet ahead. just because you have a 1-point lead, this is the first time you've actually had some control. Interestingly enough, the flip. We saw this on last map where Penta got control first on Rogue's maps. That push into that after losing Junis was not a great play. Walked right past the opponent. That was, I don't know, I think they were getting a little frantic on that top floor defense. They really wanted to overcommit to it. Luckily, they read into it that, okay, we need to rotate back, but just Rogue were completely ready for it. The fact that Rogue didn't lose anyone on that top floor attack before killing 2 is absolutely why they took that round, because when you lose too many people on a top floor attack, it's so hard to hit the bottom.
Here's the thing. The bandit of Jonas was so busy trying to deny the Hibana pellets from opening up the Mira window that he was in a perfect position for the grenade of Buck to take him out.
It was well timed as well. I mean, to be fair, he had just snuck around and he was super focused on, as you were saying, getting that bandit out, because he just came from archives, ran in there, okay, I'll get this battery down really quick. And he had no opportunity to focus on, oh, I've got to deal with a grenade. But
Eclipse again on the Ella.
I think it's very impressive, though, that on Penta's map, they turned a 2-1 advantage on Penta into a 3-2 advantage for Rogue. There's some definite possibility here. We could see this go to an overtime map for Rogue. I mean, they still got to make this defense work, though, against a very aggressive Penta here. And we have Slash on Pulse again, and I think that worked very well for him last time. I mean, he was caught off guard a little bit, but that was after getting some good kills. And we have the bandit tricking coming out here on Fountain again. But 3 men stacked on Fountain could go pretty poorly if they don't time their shots well.
Oh, well, Jonas moving in, taking control of the east stairs and the hallway. Kanto Raketti yet again on the sledge. He's been a staple of Kanto in this tournament so far, as Pengu will pretty much go for the same set that we talked about before. He'll take 5 damage in it, and he'll be on the ventilation, just watching through the window.
Speaking of watching through a window, Kanto spotted there through the mirror window. They know he's going to be approaching. They know the window is going to be his next attempt to try and get in there because he can't directly fight that mirror window. They do have the Hibana of Pengu, but Pengu's off on the AC unit, so he's unable to help at the moment, and that could cost them a lot of time in making this rotate. But Eclipse does take a lot of damage, turns into a kill from Fabian. As we said, brutal with that F2.
That is perfect timing again from Penta. Each one of these teams here has got this down to a science as Pengu will get the second one with the bearing 9, easily falling to the floor. In my mind, the best North American player right now, but Brian traded here. Fabian going down as Brian just keeps on spraying, trying to catch a lucky shot. He hears the one player on the window and he'll get the shot. Pengu going down, but Goga has opened up the side. We're so busy. No, the C4, is it gonna catch him? Yes, it will, Jonas! What are you doing? He'll go down as he eats Kanto's C4, basically. It had his name on him, but you know what? Does not work out. Shuttle getting the kill on Goga. Kanto with the one spray, he spots the second, can't make it happen, and Shuttle will clutch the round.
How did we get from a 2-1 in Penta's favor to a 4-2 in Rogues?
USA, my friend.
Absolutely, and the traded C4, as you said, that should have been a total whiffed C4, but unfortunately the backup death ever ready to give Slash what he needed. And Rogue finally going to be feeling good. Ranger just trying to seal the deal. Let's get going, boys. Let's close this out and get to a map we know we can win.
For Geo.
For Geo.
For Geo. Well.
All right. Armory Lockers defense again for Penta. They've really got to push this good. And Eclipse going to be going back on Lion. Should be interesting. Something we saw him do once before. Slash going to be bringing out the IQ. They're doing it a little bit differently this time, but the Buck of Easily just needs to live a little bit longer this time, and I think they can make it work. A lot of pressure on Penta to keep this, but at least they already have one map in the bag, and that was the map that should have been Rogue. So, again, losing early maps doesn't matter too much to Penta. The fact that they won the first one, even if they lose this one, they're going to be coming back swinging very hard on Oregon, but I don't think they want to get that far. We've seen time and time again when it comes down to Penta, they go, you know what? Let's close this out. And they do. They shut the door, they shut all the windows, and just leave.
Remind you, Penta in the past year exactly have only lost 4 maps on LAN, including 6 Invitational. Imagine, in every single event we've had, only 4 were dropped. And Rogue, they're so close to making it 5.
They got to. I mean, otherwise they're out, right? I mean, they need to put a hurt on Penta. At the very least, if Penta moves forward, you need to put some fear into them so that they have some weaknesses shown for other teams going forward. into those finals. But it is definitely far from over. We'll see they are going with a double reinforcement on the armory walls, and the window on the left-hand side yet again from Kanto. Worked somewhat well. Now, Junis needs to stay alive. He's been an important linchpin in their defense when it comes to Bandit, whether it be on the fountain wall or on the armory wall. They need to take him out as early as possible. They need to play the smart. They do have Slash to be able to spot when those batteries are down. He can help with that. Help it make sure that Easily gets the right timing to hit the batteries as well as Bandit, because he can see when those are being placed.
Well, guess who the crowd is supporting here? We'll see if Rogue can close this map out and take us into map 3, Oregon. A map that is notoriously equal between both of these two teams.
I'll be honest, regardless of who I want to win, I absolutely want to see a map 3 here, because this is the second closest to a final we're going to see here.
It's the only way to do this match justice. The top 2 teams in NA and in EU, at least the online season, coming into the grand finals here. Yeah.
Now, the hard part is when you're a team like Rogue and if you lose this round and it starts slipping away, that could start a very bad train wreck in which Penta comes back like basically 4 rounds in a row and wins. It can be very difficult to get your momentum back after losing it like this. So they definitely need to play this round a little more cautiously. They need to keep people like Slash a little restrained in how he's going to play. They need to play together as a team, get crossfires, get trades, and make sure every death results in a death of Penta.
All right, Fabian this time on the Valkyrie. He's been playing it before. Jonas, Bandit. I don't think he plays any other operator anyways. Zofia and Bandit, right?
He doesn't need to. And Glaz, I guess.
Sometimes. To variable effects.
When he's feeling like it. They are going to at least start to clear out any potential batteries on that wall, and that could either force Bandit to rotate because they're not going for a take on the armory wall, or it could just, he could stick his ground over on the other side and not even bother with this. But they are going to start putting a lot of pressure with Slash's help here. I like the double breach there, opening up both angles of the wall, and that's going to be a freebie for Slash, who does land the shots this time. Goga being down is a big hurt. We saw what damage he's done with Jaeger in the past.
Of course, facing the 5.52, one of the highest DPS in the game, you can't really do too much against it here. The wall being opened up more and more as Penta are now forced back.
Pengu with another attempted flank. Those have worked pretty well for him and have not costed him his life without at least a few kills, so cannot blame him.
We'll see if Penta actually remain on the site this time around.
Junis.
Try to deny it. The grenade forces him in, but no, the grenade does not correctly.
Drop.
Oh, the smoke's going to get thrown out by Pengu. So now Eclipse will get the second. Fabian eliminated. Pengu with the jump out. Cannot get anything done with that. The smoke thrown in at the 25-second marker. Slash. One more on Yona. Shuttle with one more on Pengu. And it's all up to the replacement here. Kanta Raketti coming into sub for Shate. We've seen Shate clutching before. We've seen Kanto clutching before. Can he channel his inner Sisu? That's all he needs. They'll rush on onto him, and Slash takes it. Rogue!
They are not out of this yet. A 5-2 on their map, a 5-2 on Penta's map. Who's going to bring the 5-2 to Oregon is the big question.
Oh boy.
Rogue, you thought maybe it was over when EG was out, but Rogue is saying, no, Penta have not won this LAN event yet. They are going to have to work for it. And Eclipse showing up, I would say today, better than I have seen him in a while. A
10-3. 10-3. That is impressive.
The scoreline pretty much illustrating that 5-2. Goga, though, still putting in so much work for his team. And Kanto, who showed up fantastically yesterday, also doing today. You saw 5 below Goga's 7. So, Rogue, I mean, it was an unfortunate series of rounds on Skyscraper, but taking Penta on border, not just their map pick, as I said about like Skyscraper, it's their map.
Yeah.
Oregon does favor Rogue, at least statistically, just because, well, Rogue have won it twice during the season, Penta have won it once, and Penta showed they struggle with it yesterday against EG, and Rogue are the seed above EG. So in theory, Rogue should be better.
All right, well, before we start off with our third map here, I'm going to take a quick waltz to the other side of the room. I'll have a talk with Matt, Fox, and Saronic. We're going to break everything down that's happened so far, because this is too close to call just yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back to you.
Milos, you asking me for a dance? Oh, well, I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep you waiting. I'll play hard to get. Hi guys. Yes. Back to our desk with Fox and Zoronic. 2 maps down in our first semi-final. We have a contest which it feared we weren't starting off with, and it looked like we were on our way to seeing Rogue leave this thing a whole lot quicker than anybody here in Atlantic City expected or wanted. And the way that first map went, surprises all round, given that we know Rogue picked Skyscraper. We knew they were going to bring out some pocket strats to surprise Penta. No, Penta just decided to wipe you out.
We didn't see too much from Rogue on that map.
No, we really didn't.
We were talking about it backstage. I don't want to say we were disappointed in it, but they just didn't seem to bring anything.
I'll say I was disappointed in it.
Yeah, fair. Penta played very basic, and we have later on some of the highlights we'll do after the match where we will explain like how easy it was for Penta to take some of the positions. And it didn't seem like Rogue was doing anything special or anything new.
Why did you put that map in first?
If you don't have anything to show on it.
Yeah. Real surprise.
Well, we've seen it done against Penta many times. You'll take a map that you expect them to be weaker on, but they've counter-studied you and know you're going to pick that map, so they get even stronger on it. But I mean, still, Rogue at first came out real strong. First 2 rounds, they end up getting a 5-3 man lead. They get 2 first picks, but then they don't like hunker down. Skyscraper is a tight quarters map, so it's hard to hunker down. But at the same time, they were kind of just taking as much position as possible, and they weren't giving it when they needed to fall back and play time. So that's what costed them some of their rounds, because Penta is a team that loves to play under pressure, and they are great at teamwork. So the less Penta members there are, the better they play.
Yeah.
And Rogue was definitely, like, they didn't have discipline on Sky. Not whatsoever. You get the first few picks, that's where you slow down and you start being more methodical about why you do stuff, right? Because you can afford to lose a few guys now. You can take these unfavorable picks where you just are more people. But we didn't see that. We saw them take 1v1s, and it doesn't matter if you're a 5v3 if you keep playing 1v1s.
So 5-2 is how Rogue's map went. Penta put us onto the second map, and it looked like, I was certainly fearing this is going to be a whitewash. We expected that to be Penta's map. We knew they'd be good. So just very quickly, guys, the 5-2 on the second map came about.
I mean, there was some spots where it looked spotty for Rogue. They kind of let Penta walk into their site a couple times. They let them get their picks, but in the end, they were able to just out-frag them just because they knew what they were going to do.
So Rogue are in good spirits now compared to how they finished first map, but let's get back to it. Semi-final will conclude with our final map. Which way is it going to go? Emzo and Milos will take us there.
Thank you very much, Matt. I mean, I like to dance, but I don't know if I can dance again. Guilty Feet, they've got no rhythm. So
unfortunate.
We'll just have to see. Well, let's head into our third map. This is going to be exciting. You saw it broken down by our analysts. We were expecting Penta to take it all home, basically, on the second map. That is their home turf on Border. Wasn't the case.
No, not even close.
Not even close. It's 5-3. We saw this a similar thing as well on our first map on Skyscraper. And of course, Zoronic and Fox were explaining it. They didn't really show anything special, Rogue, on the first map, wondering why they picked it first.
Border, what they showed special was just decimating a lot of the players in a row. When they had bad rounds, it went pretty downhill for Rogue. But when they had good rounds, it went very downhill for Penta. And it would just go from, oh, we've got 1 or 2 initial picks, to all of a sudden it's Pengu left alive, trying to defend as best as he can, and not being able to do so because there's 4 or 5 players left on Rogue. And it seemed like, again, the time management, the ability to get into sight, get those fights early, left them the room and the time to be able to make those attacks that much more effective because they weren't pressured into sight.
All right, we'll remind you, this is the 5th map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count them with me. The 5th map that Penta has ever lost on LAN in the past year. Well, let's see how this one goes. We're going to head into map number 3. Will North America make a grand final? Will Pro League be yet again facing the monsters of Penta? We'll have to see. Map 3, Oregon, Penta versus Rogue. Let's get in the game.
Especially the battle of the coaches here after yesterday, because you know Ranger was studying, here's all the things they did wrong on Oregon. Shas doing the exact same thing. Both of them looking for opportunity on this map, and this is a map we're all so familiar with at this point. This is no Skyscraper. This is the 2 standard maps, Border and Oregon. Here we go. Laundry to start with first from Penta. Not going to do anything crazy, not going to do anything wacky. Start with the downstairs. some teams like Laundry, some teams like Dorms. It is almost a 50-50 split on who likes what. But both sites very, very viable, even in this current meta, especially now that there's a little bit of nerf D'ing. But of course, we're still going to see smokes here from Slash on Capitao.
Well, Clip's bringing the Zofia this time around.
Yeah, it's easily on the Lion. They're switching things up left and right on these teams. But that's what both of these teams are very good at.
Here's the thing. When we talk Penta, we see how they switch around the operators. They even select maps based on which player they know will be much happier playing on it. This is for Penta, from what I've talked to them and gathered since Sixth Invitational, that this is Pengu's map in their mind.
And he's going to be playing on Pulse Vault.
He'll play Smoke, Pulse, and Mira, and no matter what, he will always be able to run around, play the main stairs, play the back stairs of the tower if they're playing down in Laundry. Perfect position for him, but that's the thing. You don't have a Mira, and everybody from Rogue is spawning on the other side.
It's like a tower rush here. Whether they take construction or not, they are definitely pressuring it heavily. We've seen this sometimes work against them as well. They are at least going to take tower, if nothing else, and a very rapid push here is definitely going to help, but Pengu could be the one to spot that out.
Yeah, with only a Thermite and no Habana, this definitely signals, let's take it from the back, and this makes it a bit more difficult.
Junis is here.
Yeah, he can contest, and you know what? Goga will be the first one to fall. Kanta Raketi as well, taking so much damage. And unfortunately for Goga, he was trying to fight them a bit too hard. Now, will this be the snowball start? As remember, Penta has not lost other than one single game at LAN ever. Kanta Raketi taking down Slash as Jonas trying to contest here. At least that is one kill as Eclipse taking a bit of damage as well. A very equal spot between both teams as they try to inch their way in round number one. And the C4 from Jonas connects Eclipse on the ground.
Well played, well timed, staying alive, not even taking any damage here. Junis is playing this perfectly. Look how much effort and time it's taking them, not to mention manpower, to get in here and take him out.
They don't even know where he's at here. The drone finally coming in, and Shuttle will not even...
What?
Oh, there we go. He spots him on the rotation. Jonas trying to play the angle. He cannot get wallbang through there, but they can shoot him from below just by using the door. Now, do they expect him to be out in the open? Do they have a drone to lob in? The grenade is going to go to the side. That's not where they were expecting him, and Jonas will sacrifice himself for the kill on Shuttle. A huge pick here on the Buck, because this only leaves Easily and Brian
How do you
alive.
lose 3 people taking tower? This is not working at all.
Oh, Kanta Raketi hitting the headshot on Brian. And now Easily, last man alive. The first step, taking tower, has been thwarted. Impossible for Rogue to go through, and Easily will have to...
At this point, if you're Penta, I'd feel picking that as your bomb site.
Well, that
when
is
you can
pretty
kill
much
4
it.
people just trying to get in the windows.
Well, now he'll use one of the E1Ds. As you see, Jonas is still squirming around, hoping for someone to save him. C4 will miss, but Pengu is ready for the shot. Jonas will stay alive. That'll not have the 1 death on his...
he doesn't even die.
So there you go, gets the 3K.
That round was all Eunice. I mean, yeah, there was some other picks by other players, but him staying alive, baiting in 4 people to their death. Not to mention at least one of those being on his hands from that C4. That, again, is a round that Eunice just staying alive was all they needed to just decimate them. Slash did have his 1 kill at least.
Even though it started off so well for Rogue, it's just, the way that this setup on the site was, you open up the entirety of the floorboards, so in the wall itself, everybody coming in from construction or from tower, they are so vulnerable to fire from anybody on the site. And they didn't even need a Mira on this.
Nope.
They just had Jonas, basically, and playing to his game sense.
Yeah.
Able to squirm around these drones whenever necessary.
And that was just the first round. That's when they try that out, you know, feel it out a little bit, when you can afford to lose maybe a round or 2 at the beginning. But Penta can capitalize on that here. If they could turn that into a 2-round lead, it'd be the first 2-round lead we've seen so early in a round like that. So they've got to attack Laundry as well here. But it looks like a heavy, heavy meeting hall defense here from Rogue. And we're actually going to see Kanto playing the Dokkaebi like he did quite often yesterday to good effect. We're going to see Fabian back on that Twitch and Pengu on Ashe this time. So definitely changing stuff up. Again with 2 soft breachers and a hard breacher here. So they're going to be able to do a lot of destruction to get on in. They got to take this meeting hall, though, because that meeting hall defense is always, as we were saying earlier, kind of a linchpin of the defense in terms of trying to hold the basement as long as possible. I mean, yeah, you can kind of skirt around it and sometimes take it, but if you lose too many men, you can't have enough flank watch to even be able to hold without it. But a little bit of damage to himself, not really worth it as he gets down. Slash just on top of it, but traded quickly by Goga, who is, again, rocking it here. And, I mean, that's the roamer down. He did his job, got 1 kill. Not a terrible position for Rogue to be in here.
I'm not sure about that, what happened basically just there on the tower. You would have imagined maybe an Ashe would be setting up to go, or maybe you'd have the Zofia opening things up for the Hibana, but I know they didn't really want to risk the Hibana dying in this position. So I guess things go around, you lose Slash, you clear at least one of the potential roamers. So easily, though, still has control of the back.
It's proven tower is a bit of a death trap so far between these 2 rounds. Speaking of which, Kanto trying to continue to make it a death trap with that DMR before he decides to go in with the SMG-12. Hoping to catch anyone in meeting hall. It's always fun to do the drone hole dance there. Fabian, though, comes in from the other side, makes sure it's clear for his buddy to help take tower. Now they also have support from Ashe here. So this is a good take. They cleared out all those resources dedicated to meeting hall, all for naught, just to get 1 kill here. As now they have complete control of the top floor, and 1:30 left to go for the push on the stairs. Not looking great for Rogue at the moment.
Kenny joining in as well on the Dokkaebi.
Could even hack that phone if he wants.
Well, just right on the floor, but there is nobody contesting. Oh, Pengu just nearly missing the bandit there. Still playing around. That's Clips.
Look at that movement, though. He does not want to stand still, taking advantage of being a 3-speed and the ability to aim and shoot very easily and quickly with that gun. That is the way to play it. Do not stand still. Do not give them an easy potential headshot up through that hatch.
Oh, will he run up the tower, though? Fabian should be ready for this one. Eclipse gets the kill, and now they're moving in. Fabian is ready from the back, though, and Eclipse will go down, just bigoting him. Do you want to run out up the tower? We're already watching that. You want to run by the hatch. Pengu's watching it, and Fabian comes around from the back. Fabian with 1 more, and easily 4v2, as the last 2 alive are the anchors, Brian and Shuttle, the Smoke and the Mira. As Pengu tries to rush into the side. Goga with 1 more in the bearing 9, and now going in. Goga the second, as he vaults over the soft wall, getting the final kill.
And this is what I was fearing here. Penta with that early 2-round lead, as I was talking about earlier. They are a team that doesn't matter if they lose those early maps. They are ready to close it out, always in their favor. And this is a map that should be a little bit favored to Rogue. Going to an early 2-0 lead over to Penta is a terrible start. We saw that tower just leading to so many deaths, for Rogue especially, way more than Penta here. That is going to be their big weakness, and now Rogue are going to have to fight against dorms. So probably, I mean, if they're going to go for a tower push this time, should be a little bit more effective in theory, but there's a lot more map to control here to try and take the dorms. So I imagine they could go for a normal west side push, clear from the side up to kitchen and white stairs, or they could go for a little bit more of a lobby push, but it's a little more conventional to take the west side just because you can secure it a lot easier. Nothing crazy like a glass or anything to be able to fight across through the window, but they do have Slash this time instead of Eclipse on the Capitao to be able to put some pressure onto the big window. Although it's more likely they could be going for a master bedroom take, as they are bringing in the thermite, assuming they knew they were going to be going to this bomb site. Well, they won laundry, so why wouldn't they be? So this had to be the plan.
Where is he going to set up his mana batteries? Because it makes a lot of sense that, yeah, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, so I would imagine on the master bedroom. Yeah. And that's where the take's going to happen.
This is going to be very important for Rogue to take the floor below. They need to take down the mana batteries
to be able to do that. So Eclipse can go hit both those bandit batteries with his lifeline charges, and Junis is dedicating his other batteries to the kitchen, which means he'd have to pick them up and rotate them to even be able to put those back. So this is a nice setup for Rogue to be able to take advantage of if Eclipse can get below there. And easily, though, starting it out, Junis down already. No picking up any batteries for him.
What are you doing there?
Unfortunate. Once Junis is down early in the round, that usually bodes really well for Rogue. Fabian could be sticking in the bathroom with Mute of all players.
Yeah, Mute and Bandit, something Europe has been loving to use. And finally, we see a Legion Goga playing on that.
Yeah, not Fabian. Interesting choice here. Fabian, though, with a flank coming out here, potentially. And that is, usually you see a West take to prevent exactly this.
Oh, there we go. He'll spray in, but P-Shooter at distance, a slash on the Capitao. Get the frag on Cantu, but a Fabian spraying easily. What is that angle? Gets one, trades it 3 versus 4. Finally, Rogue losing at least the Lion in this one. Fabian trying to be a thorn in the side of Rogue here. Is still playing in the dining hall. Nobody trying to push through small tower. Slash in control of the tower now, as well as Brian try to thermite the connector here. Brian peeking in very slowly.
Good use of the thermite instead of taking the master bedroom, just going for an attic push instead.
The attic, though, the wall on the other end might not be unreinforced. Might be unreinforced, but there's nothing to go through with it. They need Eclipse to get up there or shuttle, and that's already a very difficult spot to put yourself in because you can still get sprayed or shot from below, which is what Goga might try to do as he's still playing in the back of the kitchen. Brian to control the watchtower and just making sure nobody's rotating out of the site or back into it.
Make some use of your time while you're waiting for someone to come over there and help.
No, Slash. Gotta find the angle here on the white stairs. He'll use this first crossbow bolt. Of course, the fire bolt. The second one as well. Oh, burn Fabian to the ground. And there you go. Fabian Flambe. Who would have thought? Pengu with one more on Eclipse. He's still playing in kids' dorms. It is a perfect position for him, historically speaking, as well. He'll take a bit more damage from the thermite as he rotates away. And Goga playing close up as well to the window. This is a window that they need to take control of. If you're Rogue, you have a bit of extra manpower in your third player trying to pinch it from the back. The angle from Slash! What is that? He'll get one, but Goga will refract the second as well. 1v1! Shuttle last alive, and he's spotted in kids' dorms. Goga still has to survive for 20 more seconds, but does he know where the rotation in the sledge coming from? The grenade being cooked up here by Shuttle as he runs into the side. He goes in and Shuttle! He'll clutch it against Goga! Rogue in control of the round.
The mind game's well played, pressuring from the side. I mean, Goga had to know that that was going to happen, just did not win the gunfight. The drop shot there at the end from Shuttle, the pressure there, all on him. They had all the advantage and then lost almost all of it due to some great play by Goga again. But the first point on the board on the last map here, it was good to see Pengu back on smoke as well, as much as we enjoyed Fabian playing it. Pengu ever the good smoke. Just the nice angle by Slash working out for them.
Yeah, what a round.
That was a great round for Slash overall. Getting the burn kill as well, the Fabian. The energy coming out for Rogue again on the potential comeback here.
See a Ranger, he's got it all. He's coming in, he's telling me, you know, boys, let's get this show on the road, because remind you that tactical pauses are now a thing, and now the one for Rogue on this map, the one that they can use is going to be set up now. So
yeah, you usually want to use those when you're down. In this case, it's right after they come up, but it's like, let's capitalize on what you guys just did right.
Yeah, and honestly, it all started with the Lion getting the pick on Jonas's Bandit. That's something that should not have happened ever, because always you come in, you take down that camera in the main lobby, and then you run away. And still with that, it was just not enough, and he gets sprayed in and taken down as he's playing in the meeting hall. Why are you there early on? Just stay in the kitchen. Why are you out in the open when you know that this is the timing when the camera is supposed to go down?
You heard it here first, Jonas. Stay in the kitchen. Just stay in there. Get with Panari, make some pancakes. Let's do this.
Well, I can't wait to see Panari at DreamHack Austin. That'll be very, very soon, in a couple of weeks.
Interesting, we're seeing Pengu take up the Twitch instead of Fabian, because Fabian's going to rotate to Glass, of all things, on an attack on the basement here. Something we used to see occasionally for a stairs attack. Are they going to go for that, though? Because the smokes are going to have to come from Kanto Raketti on Dokkaebi. So that could be an interesting choice. I mean, obviously you have the smokes on Fabian as well, but 2 smokes is generally not enough for a very solid push down there, because you need a lot of coverage of the room. 2 smokes is enough at a time, but you need that extra time a lot of times to make that push work. They are, again, on Rogue, going to dedicate a lot of resources to meeting hall. They're going to go with the castle, the mirror windows. This is a pretty typical meeting hall defense, but last time we saw them abandon it very quickly. And that's the problem when you dedicate so much to it. That's resources that are not being used downstairs. Yeah, maybe there's no place for those downstairs, but then maybe there's no place for those operators either. And that's something to consider. Is this is a game of resources and utility as well as bullets. Kanto already taking the west side very quickly into kitchen. This has been a nice push from him without requiring a phone call.
Kanto, one of the 3 European players that really do like to rely on the Dokkaebi. We'll mention Livin and KS as well. They'll take down his teammate's drone here, but I don't think that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to shoot the leg.
Probably not. Better than a TK, though.
Yeah, but telling me. So Jonas is still on the outside of the main entrance. They'll walk into the garage. Very standard here from Penta, as Rogue are burning as much time as humanly possible before they fall back. You mentioned before, Rogue would just fall back a bit too early. They would just let go of the amount of utility that they invest in the meeting hall, comes back to bite them as they're defending downstairs in laundry. here, not going to be the case so far, as already a minute's been burned out. Fabian spraying in, of course, bringing the glass this time around, taking down one of the 2 castle barricades set up.
One more to go, Fabian.
It's like a matryoshka.
Yeah, it really is. But they've got a lot of utility pushing pressure onto that room. They've got control of the doorway now. They're going to start pressuring, and there is a lot of people in this room to kill. Could be meet Pinata here soon if they can get into the room with the angles they need.
Now they'll spot
bomb located by attackers.
Utility on the floor. Pengu will get the kill here, playing the Hollow, even on the FAMAS. A very aggressive setup, but easily from the side, he'll get the kill. Ball back, the spray from Kantaraketi, though, putting the SMG-12 to work. As he'll drop one more, and that's easily an Eclipse on the floor. The Castle and the Bandit. Shuttle, Brian, and Slash last alive as they all fall back on the site.
Time to abandon Meeting Hall. At least you got 1 kill out of it, but
it's a ton of time as well that's been burned out.
Yeah,
now you can't even use your utility correctly.
The plant already coming down, though.
Oh, can he get the shot? Yes, he will. He'll drop one, and now the smoke will get used. This is perfect. Goga's able to get it done. As it's all work here for Fabian. See Goga rotating back up as he still needs to hold Brian. No, Shuttle will go down. Asphyxiation. Fabian gets one more on Brian, leaving only Shuttle alive. And you know what? He is so far away, all the way in the small dorms.
Good luck here, buddy.
If anybody can do it, Ella can, right?
Well, not with those angles being held here. And him giving away his position with the pre-fire, because Goga doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah, you can't really fault Slash for not being able to do much. This is almost impossible position. There you go. Goga will just take him down. Goga playing on the Habana in that round, a very different operator than what he's usually used to. But you know what? Penta now set up an extra round.
Unfortunately, the pep talk from Ranger, not working the tactical pause, not turning into a tactical win. Unfortunate is now we're seeing the worst lead for Rogue that they've had to deal with so far. A 3-1 early in the round on a map that they were good at, that Penta have shown weakness at, but whatever weaknesses they showed yesterday, they are not showing today. No. They're coming on strong. Kanto actually going to be the one to be picking up the Legion this time.
Oh, this is an operator that Kanto loves to play in normal ranked play.
Yeah.
So he's pretty proficient at it.
Are you saying this is normal ranked play?
Yeah. For Kanto it is. Running around, getting kills, that's pretty much what he does. It's his specialty. But Penta, this time they'll be bringing the Mira. This is not something that we saw before. We'll see if Rogue go for the same push into tower because they're bringing the exact same lineup that they had before with no Hibana and only a Thermite for
that lineup worked a lot better on Dorm's attack, but that's not where they're going this time. Nope. So if they can, I mean, I think there's a good chance they could make this a lot cleaner of an attack than they did last time on that tower push. I don't think we'll see a repeat of that death trap, but you never know.
You never know, especially now with the Legion of Kanto helping Jonas. This can definitely be deadly. And well, you say one thing, but then Rogue come up where first? To the tower.
Well, yeah.
Rapunzel.
And they're going with a soft wall mirror on the stage. They do not want to give up this tower yet again. Junis still in his same position as last time. Have they learned anything from this fight? Because Goga's now here as well. Abandon the tower, all ye who enter. This is not a great idea, guys. Slash needs to see that with his drone and decide this is absolutely going to cost you.
Yeah, 2 impacts are still in the hands of Goga. He's just crawling on the floor. He's got Jonas as well with the C4 to use downstairs if need be. And of course, Kantaraketi has already set up his goo mines to help out with pretty much any push through the doorways themselves. It's very heavy on the defensive tower. Of course, as Jonas still playing in the same exact spot. Very difficult to get the shot on him here as he's playing close up on the stairs. Drones have already been shot to bits, as easily we'll use this last one here to play around with. Now you see Zofia being put to use as the Lion will get the E1D out, but no, Goga comes up, gets the kill on Slash. The Capitao eliminated. The Eclipse will try to dive right on in as he'll get the shot on Goga, but a refract from Jonas.
Come on, guys.
Sacrifice the castle for a kill on a Zofia and a Capitao. You know what? I'm happy with that.
Round thrown officially. That, even if you guys won that fight, you burned 1:30 to accomplish so little learned. You know, I thought maybe they would just take advantage of all the knowledge they gained last time, but no, Penta did. And wow.
Wow,
The
they're
shots
not ready for him in the school. Kanta Ricchetti with a kill on Brian. Pulling out the pistol, can't get the second shot on Shuttle. There's only one bullet will hit a resident Buck here. He hooks the top of the floor, and that's where the Legion goo mines will come in. Do a bit more damage. It's Kento from the dead trying to save the team here at Penta. 3v2. Not impossible for Rogue, especially because they have grenades, but because Penta have Pengu here on the C4, well, you know what? Fabian can throw one as well because they have the memory to do it. Fabian with the second one. 2 kills for Penta as now they are 1 round away from a 5-1 to take it and go into Grand Final. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in North America or what? Rogue needs their energy. Can they bring it back? Match point at round 6. They're gonna need it.
Let's give them one more round, guys. Come on.
One more round. All that separates Penta from the grand final. They can taste it. They've been compared to so many big stars of sports. They've been compared. People, I think it was Louis actually, one of the French writers in France, compared Pengu to Cristiano Ronaldo even. So he is our Cristiano Ronaldo. He's definitely been showing up. We'll see if Rogue can counter it here as now they're setting up downstairs in the laundry. They're going to bring Slash on the Ella Bryan on the castle. Of course, Shuttle on the Mira, easily on the smoke, and Eclipse on the mute to try and shut down Penta.
We're going to see the old hatch mute jam. That won't delay Penta for long as it's pretty easily dealt with, but slowing them down a little bit, forcing them to deal with a little bit of problem getting in through that lobby. Could be what Rogue needs to take this round, but they've got to play so smart because last round showed they can also play so dumb. Unfortunate on that tower push. Slash at least showing up for Team Brian, unfortunately, with a big fat 0 as they are 1 round so far. And that's all they've been managing to take, and that was on a dorm attack. That was a bare win as well. It was down to a 1v1 that Shuttle managed to clutch out. So not looking great. There's another little bit of mute jammer to make sure that they can't drone as effectively downstairs. They've got the barbed wire they need to hold things up. The castle barricades as well to slow them down.
This is the mirror window that you would usually see if, okay, they'll reinforce the sidewall. This is not
a lot of
usually what
times
happens.
Open up the bottom, especially if people drop hatch, you could shoot them in the feet, you could pressure people that try and come around. Generally the better way to play it, but they want to be a little bit safer, and that's where the castle barricades are coming as well. It is all about being able to hold up in that B site, turtle as long as possible to fight the laundry and avoid being flanked from the back. Because, well, being flanked from the back at the same time you're trying to defend laundry makes it very, very difficult to succeed. But this lineup has been pretty effective overall for Penta. Fabian this time going to be the one on Lion, Pengu on Sledge, so shaking things up a little bit, but overall these operators have been working well for them. And they have all the momentum they need to close this out now. And then when it comes to Penta, when they decide to close it out, they do. So this is not looking great for Rogue.
It's been a problem as well for Rogue, even back when Avian was on the team, actually. We'll look at 6th Invitational, where it was very difficult for them to try and close out their match. And, well, here it might be a repeat. As both teams, of course, the two that are bringing their basically subs, loners, coming in, alone for this matchup.
At least both the loners showing up. You know, sometimes farther or better than the standard players.
Yeah, we'll mention Kanta Ricchetti and Shuttle both pretty much showing up very, very hard. Now,
this is jammer not working.
Yeah, that's the Habana checklist. All you do is just open up the hatches, open up the side in the school, because this allows you to shoot all the way down. If somebody that's pushing it from the back of the laundry comes in through the cubby, tries to chuck a C4, tries to play with smokes as well. Goga trying to bait him in. There's a minute left.
Jaeger at least, but nope, nothing to stop those grenades.
Yep. It's problematic. Of course, Penta bringing Jonas on the Zofia. You would expect the Jaeger on the other side because you know he's a must pick for Penta.
Nice droning. Sees 3 of them. That could be a big kill.
No pulse for Rogue as well in this one, so Goga will try to go in for the fakie. There we go. They'll bait out one of the C4s. 33 seconds left on the clock. Can they bait out anything else? There we go. That's the only C4. Well, the second one. There you go. Eclipse will throw it out on Goga. And it's the mute. They were not ready for that second one to come out of the pocket. Penta moving in. Trying to go for the plant as Pengu set up at the top. Trying to spray, but can't clean them up in the laundry.
Wow, they just barely stopped that. Kanto does take down Shuttle, but Diffuser is down 3v3 advantage.
All right, Kanto, Jonas, Fabian, all three left alive. Brian on the floor. Eclipse will get picked up with 50% health and easily down to 25. He'll get spotted. Kanto with a quick spray of the Mach 14. He'll spot the second. Kanto Ragetti with the 3K. Penta Sports, ladies and gentlemen. How many times have we said this here, Devin? They'll go into the grand final. Vamos Penta.
I long for the day when I can be surprised. Unfortunately, here we have it again. I hate to say that. Unfortunately, we got Penta steamrolling the competition again, but at least they took it to 3 maps. Both EG and Rogue trying to do what they can to try and rein in the beast, but it is not going to happen, especially with a 5-1 finish like that.
Tons of respect between these two teams, of course, especially between the coaches of Ranger and Shas, two of the biggest names in the coach. Of course, we'll mention Bacon as well, EG's player manager / coach. They do a lot of work behind the scenes. And you know what?